welcome back to my channel. For those who are new to my channel, I'm Yata Kelkar. Welcome to part 2 of Basics of Python. So, for those viewers who are watching this video, before watching part 1, I highly recommend you go and watch part 1. I will link the video somewhere around the screen and you can just go and check it out. So, in part 2 of Basics of Python, um, we would learn about functions. So it's pretty simple to learn it. It's pretty straightforward, easy, and unlike C++, Java, you don't really have to declare the function. Sorry, like not declare. You don't have to start like at the start of the file. You don't have to tell that I'm going to declare a function later on. No, you don't have to do that. Whenever you want the function to be declared, just write the function codes, and then you'll just declare it. So it's pretty straightforward like that. Now, where do we use functions in Python? Now we can use it for a wide range of things. Say, for example, we want our computer, let's say the Python file, to repeat a certain task, say 3 to 4 times. So we would not like to copy the whole code for 3 to 4 times. Yes, I mean, if it's a smaller code, then we would not mind. But if it's larger codes, which is generally the case, we would not like to do it, right? So that is why. In fact, all print function is a function. So, well, you're just calling that function to come back and do something. Yeah, and that's the thing. But there are few restrictions while using a function. Now there are two sets of functions. So the first set of functions is the predefined functions, the functions which have already been defined by the creators of Python, and the other ones are the user defined functions which we create. It's that simple to understand. And in the predefined functions, there are generally no restrictions, but in the user defined functions, there are few restrictions. Unlike C++, where if you write the function anywhere in the code, like before the main function or after the main function, and you call it like way before, like say for example, you declare the function on line 50 and call it on line 5. C++, Java won't show you any error, but actually Python reads the code line by line. It does not read it like the entire code then start processing. It does not do like that. It reads it line by line. So, well, the problem is that if you declare the function on 50th line and call it on 5th line, it will just show you an error. So you will either have to declare it at the start of the document or just before you call it. Now those are two ways. Yeah, no, sorry, those are the restrictions. That is one restriction. There are few other restrictions, but that comes on the higher level of functions, like the inheritance, where you inherit another function in a function. I will explain about that in a later video. For this video, what really matters is how to define a function and learning where to use them. That's it. So, firstly, all you'll have to do is open another new Python file. I have already created one, hello.py. Now, over here, the code was already written to show you that it shows an error if you define the function after calling it. If even if you run it, it will still show an error. So I'll just control X and then I'll put on the third line. Now you can see how it is not showing any error. Exactly. Now, let's talk about it part by part. So you see this keyword def, that basically means define. So that tells you Python that we are going to define a function. So that's the definition, like what we are going to do. Next part, which is high, is the function name. Function names should be unique, and none of them should generally be repeated. In fact, they should never be repeated because that will create unnecessary confusion. So yeah, never repeat function names. And after that, you see the parenthesis, right? Sorry, the brackets. My bad. You see the brackets, right? So in the brackets, you have to type the arguments. So now there are two things: functions and arguments. I'll explain about arguments just a little bit later. But before that, I'll just quickly explain the function part. And after the brackets, you see the colon. Now, the colon is really important as it states that after this line, I'm going to write about the function. The next line or lines will be your function. So, after you put the colon, the editor automatically leaves 2 3 spaces of lines. But if your code editor does not permit that, then well, you'll have to manually leave at least 2 to 3 spaces from the start of the line. This is because this tells Python that well, this is the line of coding which is going to be there in the function. So if I keep high also in the function, it will work, but when I'm calling the function inside the function, so then it won't actually print anything. The result will be null because I'm not really calling it outside the function. Yeah, see, there's nothing. That's the thing. So we generally don't call a function inside a function unless in few conditions where the argument is required. I'll explain that as well. And after the colon, you write the codes, and after you're done with it, you finally call the function or you continue with the coding. But before you continue with the normal coding, let's say without the functions, you will have to delete the space in between the function sorry, the code and the start of the line. Otherwise, the computer will still think that you are still defining the function. It's like that. All right. So, firstly, let's just run this code and see what happens. Yep. Hello world is printed. And you can do anything and everything using functions. Practically, you can take inputs, outputs, everything. You just have to call. Simple. Now, I will explain what arguments are. Now, arguments firstly have to be written in the brackets. So, firstly, let me remove this part. Oh, let me remove this part. Let's keep it like this. Save the file. Oh, here now let me type the argument. Let's say a. I'll type a, which is going to be a variable. I'll give the variable some value. So now what the computer does is that it finds the variable a in the code lines above it, or which is mainly there, is it finds it in this bracket where the function is called. So now I'll show it quickly. Firstly, if I'll have to put a over here as well, and over here I will put the value 7. Now I'll save the file. I'll run it. 7 is printed. Now let me explain it how it works. So what this bracket, like the bracket over here, does is that it catches the argument passed in when we are calling the function inside the bracket. It catches this, and then it is valid for the entire function. Okay, so then it gets valid for over here. So then the function understands that a is equal to 7. So whenever we print a inside the function, it will print 7 like it printed. Now if I print high and then bracket, if I print 8, it will print 7, and then next line will print 8. 7 and 8, and this continues. So why do we have to do this? Like, can't we just declare a variable and wouldn't the computer just understand, like, inside the function? So the simple answer is no, it can't, because the function, let's say, is kind of like an individual identity, you can say, or something like that. So, well, a variable defined outside it is not going to be valid or is not even going to be known by the function. So, let's say if we declare a variable a inside the function, then we can again declare another variable a outside the function. So, like, let me put a is equal to 19, save it, and since we already have a over here, I'll put b actually. Let's put a b, and now let's go here and print b. Print bracket b, and we save this file, and then we go to the first line. We'll just hit enter. Over here we declare a is equal to 18. Save it and we print it. Sorry, once again. B is equal to 18, and we print B over here. Save it and let's run it. Yes. So you do observe it right now. But let's just remove the arguments which we are passing over here. Otherwise, that will just create confusion. I'll just remove it for now. I'll also remove the argument over here and here. Let's save it and let's rerun it so that you can clearly understand the difference. Yep. So now you can see the variable b is declared as 18 and is being printed. So it will be printed 18. But inside the function, the variable is equal to 19. So only 19 is going to be printed, even if you print b. And now, why is it so? It's because the function does not allow any external variable to affect its output, or it does not allow any inside variable to affect the external outputs. Now, if you're thinking that maybe the variable just rewrote itself, then let's just, you know, remove this one second. Let me just kill terminal and yeah. Now let's remove this. Sorry, my bad. Let's remove this. Yeah, so let's just remove this line. P is equal to 19. Save the file and let's just run it once again. So yeah, so well, what I'm trying to now tell is that the functions, right? What they do is that they let external variables come and influence the answer inside the function. That's what they allow, but they do not allow any variables which are declared inside the function to have any influence on any function which is declared outside. So now let's keep it simple. Now let's say b is equal to 18, and we'll print b on the first and second line. The answer should be 18 logically, which will be 18. Now inside the function, we print b is equal to 19. Then we print nothing, it's just to leave a line, and then I'll just put another one, print. Yep. We print nothing over here as well. Yeah, but over here we print b. Now b is equal to 19. Why is it so? Because we overwrote the b which is externally present. But over here I'm again printing b. So logically you will think that since the variable has been rewritten, sorry, it will print 19. But no, it will print 18 because it is only rewritten for the variable inside the function. So let me run it and show it to you. The output will be 18, 19, 18. Yeah, 18, 19, 18. Now you will tell that, well, what if I just remove this line? What will be the answer? It will be 18 because it's not getting overwritten, right? So it'll be 18, 18, 18. Yep, perfect. So yeah, this is like what variables have influence on the functions, internal, external, and so on. Now, functions are generally used in bigger programs, not for such small programs. It's generally used, again, like I told, for repeated tasks, not any singular task or anything, just used for repeated tasks. Sometimes you can even declare a function and never call them. It won't show any error. Now I'll show you an example. I'll just remove this line. I'll run it. It won't show any error. It will just leave the whole function. It does not care if you have not called it. So that's it. Yeah, so you can declare multiple functions. You can call them for as many as times as you want. It can go for infinite number of times, and the editor won't stop you, or it won't say anything that yeah you can't continue. And one more thing about functions is that functions, like I had previously just told, just one small thing, that functions can inherit other functions. Okay, so let's say I make another function def. Let's say hello. No, we print hi world. We save this, and instead of passing the argument over here, we pass a function hello. Oh, sorry, hello. Just look at the result. So yeah, well, now I have inherited the function, but I will also again have to pass an argument over here as well. So all I'll have to do is hello. That's it. Simple. Save the file and I'll have to run it. What's the difference? Nothing, right? Yeah, that's because we didn't call the hello function. But then why are we using, like, why are we inheriting hello inside the hi function? So now it is pretty simple. For this is generally used for arithmetic operations where you want to basically just like inherit some kind of concept. Let's say you want to inherit the multiplication concept into use of something, then you can enroll, like you can get it into this. And well, then inside this function, for example, if you want to print, you can type hello and it will actually print what is there in the hello function. It is like that. And generally speaking, if you're, see, function hello at this, so it prints the address. But generally we don't print the function. If you are using inheritance, you return the function. So basically in that manner, the function statements or the function address is not printed, the function's work is printed. So for example, if you're making a calculator app, you want to use percentage, you have declared how to multiply to the computer, and you want to tell the computer that for percentage you'll have to do this, for that you'll require multiplication. Then, well, you can call the multiplication, you can inherit the multiplication function in your um, percentage function, and then you can return the multiplication function for any use inside the percentage function. This sounds kind of complicated, but it is not. All you'll have to do is just go here, return, or here you just have to type hello, and that's it. Now your Python file knows that, well, yeah, now I will have to use the functions which are there in hello. But if you don't put this and then just suddenly call up the multiplication thing, like if you just suddenly call it up, then it will just show an error because Python does not know that yes, I've inherited it, but like you didn't tell me to use it yet. That's the thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video, and please like, share, and subscribe. This really keeps me motivated to make more such content and spread it to you people. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more such content. Until next time, bye bye.